You have quite a cast in this movie and all of these women talking. But it's bigger than just deciding what's going to happen in those 3 days. It's bigger. It's what's going to happen with their lives. Can you tell me how you developed each person and how you got them to talk and back and forth to each other?
I mean, it was really important, I think, to love them all equally as the filmmaker, and for us to go into the script many times, each time from a different character's point of view, and make sure that the story was serving them and their evolution, individually as well as in community with each other.
You put in a lot of light moments too, to kind of break it up and to make them even more human. How did you decide to do that, and when and with who?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was always really important to us from the very beginning that there be levity and that there be breath and there be permission to laugh, especially when the intensity of the film has become ratcheted up and it's a lot for an audience to carry. The permission to be able to laugh and to see the absurd and the humor in it was essential, I think. So some of those moments are scripted and some of them were found on set, some of them were found in the editing room, but we were always focused on, like, where can we give ourselves a breath?
And I think when you asked Miriam what is so important about what's important that we keep, she said the humor.
Yeah,
right?
The laughter was most important to Miriam Chaves, who wrote the book when I first.
Well, it gave it a great sense of humanity. Absolutely.
No, it's interesting. I'm Al, by the way. It's interesting that this is religion plays a part. It's not an indictment of religion, though. I found that very fascinating in your realization of that. Can you talk to that?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to talk about these women's faith on their terms, so to meet them where they were in terms of their relationship to their faith and capture what their faith felt like to them. I think it's easy to portray the faith from a judgmental lens when you're telling a story like this, but actually what these women are doing is trying to parse out the insidious structures that have built up around their faith from the faith itself, which is something they actually want to move towards, not away from.
When you saw this with an audience the first time, were you surprised about any kind of reaction to a specific scene?
No. I think we were thrilled that the laughter happens when it happens. You don't really ever know that. I think we thought, oh, I bet you that eye roll's funny, but until you do it, you don't know. So that was sort of reassuring and just like pleasurable, you know. But no, I mean, I always thought the movie was excellent.
She always believed.
Well, and in the book, it's a little bit more violent, and you made a choice not to show that. What was the discussion about that?
No, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we always knew we didn't want to show the assaults, that what was most important in the film is the impact that the violence has had on these women and how they move alongside that experience and through it together. So in a way, like, showing the assaults, I think, would be gratuitous and wouldn't be additive in any way, and what we really wanted to show is how these women processed it.
I love the fact that we bring in democracy. You know, it's a group. This is democracy at work. It was a lovely moment.
Yeah, I mean, that to me is what was most inspiring about the idea of making the film, is we don't get to see what democracy should look like, and democracy is not casting a ballot once every 4 years. Democracy is meaningful, difficult conversation, meaningful consultation, the embracing and hearing of different viewpoints, and figuring out a way forward together.
Absolutely. Can you just talk a little bit about the look of the film, and then we'll get on?
Sure. We wanted it to feel expansive and epic, and for us to sense the momentousness of the conversation that these women are embarking on. So it's important to us to, shoot widescreen and in an almost classical, formal way. The color palette is very desaturated. There was an idea of, like, emulating a faded postcard, the idea of the fact that this world has already passed just by the very act of them beginning to talk about how they would change it.
Yes, your cinematographer, Montpellier, did it.
Yeah, didn't he?
Yes, and the aspect ratio as well.
Yeah, he's
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Thank you,
so
Linda.
much.
Appreciate it. Bye, Al.
Thank you very much.